Next, we're going to look at part 12 on the review. And part 12 has to do with solving equations. And these particular equations are cubics. So we want to solve the cubics. And to solve a cubic, you take the cube root. Remember, that's the inverse operation. While in the previous video, when we had the cube root, to solve, we cubed it. Now that it's cubed, we're going to take the cube root. So the first thing I want to do is look at what it is I want to isolate, which is this, x plus 4 cubed. So I'm going to move that 4 over first. So 2 times x plus 4 cubed equals 432. And again, I want to keep this isolated, so I want to move that 2 over. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So that leaves me with x plus 4 cubed on one side and 216 on the other. And what I want to do here now to solve is I actually want to take the cube root. So I'm going to take the actual cube root. Okay? When you take the cube root of 216, you get 6. When you take the cube root of x plus 4 cubed, you just get x plus 4. So we'll come up here, since we're running out of room here. So I have x plus 4 equals 6. So my last step is going to be just to isolate the x. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, so x equals 2. If I were to go back and plug 2 into this equation, I would end up getting this answer. All right, so let's look at the second one. Well, this one's already kind of in nice shape for you because it's ready to take the cube root. There are no additions and subtractions. There are no multiplications or divisions that need to take place. So I'm going to take the cube root of both sides. So I've got math, and if you don't remember, in order to take the cube root, you hit math, and you go down to number 4, which is cube root. And in this case, we're doing 1728. You hit enter. So that's 12. So what I know now is that this is 12. And the cube root of a cube is just the radicand. And then I've got one more step, which is to solve for x. I'm going to move that 4, so x equals 8. So that's how you solve the second one. So let's look at the final example for exercises number 12. Again, this is what I want to isolate. I'm trying to solve. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract that 6. So now I'm left with 5 times x minus 1 cubed equals 625. Now with that 625, I still have my radical that I want to isolate, and I still have something attached to it. And it's that 5. That 5 is multiplied times that radical. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5, and that'll leave me with x minus 1 cubed on this side and 125 on this side. So my next step, of course, is going to be to take the cube root, because we have cubed. The opposite or the inverse operation is to take the cube root. So the cube root is here, and the cube root of 125 is 5, because 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125. Then you solve for x, so x equals 6. And that is how you solve equations that have cubes.